Hey guys, Jared Bronstein here and welcome back to InformOverload. Unfortunately, today's video is on the more serious side as a woman has passed away from a mosquito bite. Laurie Slyvia, a Massachusetts woman in her 50s, passed away after contracting Eastern Equine Encephalitis, also known as EEE or triple E, which is a rare virus that is spread by mosquitoes. The virus can cause brain infection or an encephalitic illness, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, whose website also explains the severity of the virus can be determined by the person's symptoms. Mosquitoes that spread the virus are usually found around fresh water and hardwood swamps. According to a Massachusetts government website, the mosquitoes usually contract the virus from infected birds, who usually show no sign of illness. The disease can be contracted by humans, of course, as well as horses and llamas, although they do not spread the disease when infected. For whatever reason, the disease itself seems to come back every 10 to 20 years and lasts for about 2 to 3 years at a time. The most recent outbreak of EEE in Massachusetts began in 2010, lasting until 2012, involving 9 cases with 4 fatalities. It's believed 1/3 of those who have EEE nationally die, although some victims can be infected with what's known as a systemic infection, which, according to the CDC, I quote, has an abrupt onset and is characterized by chills, fever, malaise, arthralgia, and myalgia. The illness lasts 1 to 2 weeks and recovery is complete when there is no central nervous system involvement. In infants, the encephalitic form is characterized by abrupt onset. In older children and adults, encephalitis is manifested after a few days of systemic illness. Signs and symptoms in encephalitic patients are fever, headache, irritability, restlessness, drowsiness, anorexia, vomiting, diarrhea, cyanosis, convulsions, and possibly a coma." End quote. Unfortunately, there is no cure or vaccine against the infection, and those who do succumb to the disease will tend to pass away 2 to 10 days after onset symptoms, but can occur much later. Even those who are able to fight off the virus and recover are left with, I quote, disabling and progressive mental and physical sequelae, which can range from minimal brain dysfunction to severe intellectual impairment, personality disorders, seizures, paralysis, and cranial nerve dysfunction. Many patients with severe sequelae die within a few years. End quote. Now, although the virus appears to be deadly, or at the very least life-altering, it is important to mention it was first identified in Massachusetts back in 1938, and since then, there have been less than 100 recorded cases of infection. And of the cases that have been reported, more than 60% were reported in the Plymouth or Norfolk countries. However, as of this year, 4 people, a goat, and 3 horses have tested positive for EEE in the state. Unfortunately, their conditions are unavailable at this time. Sylvia's case, however, has been confirmed by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health that it was the 4th case of the year and the first fatality. In a statement, they explained, I quote, "We are working with several state agencies including MDAR, local boards of health, local mosquito control projects, and other mosquito control experts on mosquito surveillance and appropriate public health response activities." End quote. Outbreaks of the virus sporadically occur every 10 to 20 years, with this year's being one of the more intense years. Public Health Commissioner Monica Barrell said in a statement, I quote, "We are seeing the most intense level of EEE activity that we have seen in several years. The largest area is in Bristol and Plymouth counties, with a second focus of activity in parts of Worcester and Middlesex counties. We are urging people across the state to remember that the peak time for transmission of mosquito-borne illness extends through September here in Massachusetts." End quote. It's believed this is the first local outbreak of the virus in about 7 years and currently puts tons of communities at high risk according to state officials. So if a deadly virus is taking over the state of Massachusetts, what are they doing and what can those who have a risk of being infected do to protect themselves? The state of Massachusetts has taken to the air to spray what I'm going to assume is some sort of pesticide or mosquito repellent, and of course have warned residents in highly affected areas to stay inside when they can. And although certain areas are being sprayed which will help reduce the mosquito population, they can't confirm that the aerial sprays will completely eliminate the disease altogether. Although the spraying is safe for humans, government officials do say if you are going outside, please use a repellent, wear long-sleeved clothing and pants to cover up your body as much as possible, and avoid being outdoors during peak mosquito times, which are between dusk and dawn. At this time, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by the loss of Sylvia and those who are currently affected by the virus. Although it doesn't seem like a cure or antivirus is going to be discovered as of now, it is good to know the state of Massachusetts is doing what they can to try and control the mosquito population. And of course, for anyone watching this that lives in the area, please be proactive and do what you need to do to make sure you are well protected. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching InformOverload, and we'll see you guys in the next video.